Alright, before we hit the dunes, it's safety first. Seatbelt, check. Goggles, check. Bandana to protect your face from looking like you've been in a sand blender, double check. We're starting at the iconic Corralejo sand dunes, but hold up, we're not allowed to drive over them. These beauties are protected land, so we'll have to admire them from a very responsible distance. Still, they do look like something out of a sci-fi movie. Alright, here we go. Ignition's on, and I'm getting impatient. I mean, who needs to wait around when there's sand to be conquered and dust to be made? Let's skip the small talk and hit the gas in 3, 2, wait. Did I just forget to put my seatbelt on? Alright, quick double check. Camera's rolling, bandana's on, looking like a desert warrior, obviously. Thumbs up for the confidence, and okay, hold up. Are those nerves creeping in? No, I'm totally fine. Just a casual ride through the world's largest sandbox. What could possibly go wrong, right? Deep breaths. Okay, maybe a couple more deep breaths. Let's do this. And we're finally off. The engine roars to life, the sand is flying, and I'm already pretending to be in an action movie. Who needs a smooth ride when you've got adrenaline, right? It's just me, the buggy, and the open desert. And probably a couple of wild cacti that are about to meet their match. Okay, now we're cruising towards Corralejo, but don't get too comfy, because the real fun's about to start. We're about to leave the town behind and head straight for the mountains. It's like going from vacation mode to adventure hero mode, in like 2 seconds. Buckle up, we're about to get really off-road. And now we're rolling into the heart of Corralejo town. The locals are probably wondering, is that a tourist or just someone with really bad driving habits? Either way, we're in the thick of it. Let's see if we can avoid running over a few beachgoers and maybe grab a coffee, but first, let's not crash into anything, shall we? Alright, we're out of Corralejo and onto the spiffing FV1 motorway. Now, technically, we're on a real road, but let's just say every car here is overtaking us, like we're in a race against a snail. But you know what? Here's where we can actually hammer it down. Get ready for the dune buggy to show its true power, or at least try to keep up with the guy on the scooter. Now we're on the FV1, cruising at full speed, well, relative speed, and soaking in those wonderful views. I mean, who needs a leisurely stroll when you can enjoy the scenery with a little wind in your hair and a lot of dust in your face? Alright folks, the speed is picking up and the hammer is officially down. We're flying now. Maybe flying is a bit generous, but we're definitely moving. The buggy's feeling like a rocket, a really bumpy rocket, but hold on, because the real thrill is just ahead. These smooth roads, they're nice, but what I'm really looking for are those epic sand dunes. I can practically taste the sand, and no, I don't mean that in a good way. As we leave the motorway behind, the road is starting to narrow. Time to get a little more intimate with the terrain. No more smooth, wide lanes. This is where the real fun begins. The mountains are calling, and honestly, I'm not sure if it's a peaceful whisper or the sound of my engine begging me to slow down. But let's face it, we're going up, and it's about to get bumpy, in the best possible way. And here it is folks, our first true off-road experience. The road, that's gone. The pavement, a distant memory. Now it's just me, the buggy, and this wild uncharted desert. Welcome to the real adventure. The ground's shaking, the bumps are getting serious, and yep, there goes my coffee. But hey, who needs a smooth ride when you can feel every bit of the terrain? This is what dune buggies were born for. Alright, we're officially on the sand, and this is where things get real. Check out my expensive Tumi bag. Yep, it's now got a fresh coat of sand, and honestly, it's not the colour I was hoping for. A note to self, don't bring valuables to an off-road adventure. You think you're safe, you're not. The sand will find you. So if you're planning to hit the dunes, leave the designer bags at home. Trust me, it's really not worth it. Unless your bag's secretly a sand magnet. For me, this was absolutely the best part of the drive. At times, you couldn't see 2 feet in front of you. That said, it was a real thrill. Alright, time for a quick break. The buggy's doing great, but my camera lens, not so much. It's like it ate the sandstorm and then decided to share the experience with us. Before we get back to the chaos, let's take a moment to congratulate ourselves. I mean, honestly, look at us. We're basically off-road legends at this point. We've conquered sand, survived bumps that could rattle a skeleton, and kept our cool. Mostly. So here's to being superlative off-road drivers. Sure, we may have gotten a bit lost, but hey, it's all part of the adventure. I mean, we should probably start signing autographs at this point. Alright, the break's over and we're back on the road. And I'm feeling refreshed, recharged, and maybe just a tiny bit too cocky. But who wouldn't after mastering that off-road chaos? Now the sand's calling, and we're more than ready to answer. So, buckle up folks, we're about to take this buggy to places it was definitely not designed to go. As we exit this roundabout, things take a turn for the worst for my friend. Catastrophic exhaust failure. Yikes. Now I know what you're thinking. Oh no, what did you do? Well, obviously, I did what any good friend would do in this situation. I gave him a wave, threw him a smile, and then drove off, leaving him for dead. I'm sure the RAC will get to him, or maybe the wolves will. Either way, I'm sure someone will find him. Eventually. Alright, back on the tarmac, and it's time for another break. Now, as we roll in, I start reflecting on my friend's catastrophic technical issue. You know, the one where his buggy is basically a paperweight. Naturally, we take the time to discuss his future, mainly his funeral arrangements. I mean, at this point, I'm pretty sure he's going to need a few prayers, and maybe a tow truck. But hey, I'll send him a nice card. Maybe a sympathy cactus. Back on the road now, and honestly, this trip has been incredible. I mean, I'm talking next level fun. The dunes, the speed, the adrenaline, everything. But my bag, look at this thing. It's like the desert's personal punching bag. You'd think a fancy Toomey bag could survive a few bumps, right? Well, apparently sand is its mortal enemy. The only thing left pristine is my disappointment. But you know what? This trip was worth every grain of sand, and that's now lodged in my expensive luggage. Sure, it's covered in dust and I might have ruined a few items inside, but at least I'll always have the memories. And maybe a tiny bit of sand stuck in places I never thought possible. But hey, it's a small price to pay for a great adventure. And now for the final hammer down session, because, well, why not? But before we go full throttle, here's the info you need to know. So if you're itching to get in on this action, the price is €109 for a solo buggy, or €139 if you've got a trusty passenger, or, well, you know, someone you're willing to drag along. The tour lasts about 2 hours and 30 minutes of pure desert fun, and yep, they'll even do a hotel pickup if you're local. Or, if you just want to be part of the cool crowd, you can join the tour at their base in Corralejo. For all you winter adventurers, tours start at 9 AM, midday and 3 PM. You can book online at dunebuggy.es, and don't wait around because these are very busy tours. Next time on Moments in the Sky, we are literally heading into the sky. Yep, it's time for some nighttime photography at the Mirador Astronomico di Sica Sumbre. It's one of the Canary Islands' best spots for long exposures and capturing those epic starry skies. Trust me, you won't want to miss this one. So stay tuned and I'll see you next time. Under the stars.